Now it's time to start working with your final artwork. You take the banner, remove it, get yourself on top of a cutting board. We'll have fiberboard surfaces for you to work on. Put your background sheet of paper down on top of the board, and then bring your guideline sheet back on top, and this is how you'll start your cutting. Now here you go, you're using a very sharp knife. A caution to all, please be careful, do not cut your flesh. With the guideline sheet over top of your background, the background for your word art, you're going to be using a sharp knife to cut through the guideline sheet, removing the pieces as you go. Make sure that you save the internal pieces of letters that you might need, things like the interior of the D, for instance, or the E. Since you are using a very sharp knife, please be careful to keep your hand out of the way so the knife doesn't cut into your precious flesh. I'm going to speed up the video at this point just so we can get through this presentation. Note how I'm saving the pieces, the interior pieces of letters like the E, and in this case the Jokerman R has those little circles that I'll need to keep. You'll need to be conscious about that when you're creating your word art, that you don't throw out pieces that you actually need. Otherwise, just watch as I cut, keep your fingers out of the way, and work hard and fast but safely. Now that the cutting is done, remove those little pieces that you need to save. You can get rid of the guideline sheet. Take your background sheet, remove it, put down a piece of scrap paper to protect gluing surfaces, and then flip the background sheet back in place, but this time it should be upside down. It is vitally important that you flip the background sheet upside down before you start creating the letters. With the background sheet flipped upside down, cut out big squares of paper. These should be the colors of the letters that you intend for the final product. Glue the edges of the openings that you've cut into the background sheet using a glue stick, and then just start to apply these squares and rectangles of colored paper to the back of the background sheet. Eventually, all the openings will be covered over, and you'll be ready to flip it right side up. When you flip it right side up, there might be some pieces that you need to glue on from the front. Hopefully you've planned for this, you know where they are, and you know where they belong, and you can glue them on when you're almost finished. In this case, I'm gluing the D down, the E down, and the little circles in the R. Though I didn't show it here, one last step you might do is come up with a way to trim the edges of your word so that it has a final finished appearance that you like.